stop your early extension in a minute, which I absolutely promise you, I will make that happen. I will make you stop early extending here and now today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm talking about early extension. I'd have to say that this is one of the most talked about ingredients when someone comes and sees me, most notably the first time I see them. They always reference early extension as an issue that they've always tried to fix. I actually had one chap last week, might have been this week, he said he's playing off of 14, he was playing off of 6, and I said, what do you put down to the reason for your increase in handicap? He said, well, I've been working hard on my game, so there's an alert sign. And he said, I just can't fix my early extension. And so I quizzed him on why he thought early extension, and we got to the root cause that early extension is a symptom of something else. Early extension is actually helping you, and we're going to go into why that is the case. We're going to show you what causes early extension, and hopefully we can debunk a few of the myths surrounding early extension. Excuse me. And I actually put up a video of a young lad that I coach, 10 years old, plays off 8. Obviously not going to be as strong as adults out there. The golf club is going to be feeling heavy to him, and yet he uses himself super well and creates beautiful posture through the golf ball. So this certainly isn't a physical demand or a weakness. I mean, I'm sure there are golfers out there that have got bad backs, weak glutes, strong hamstrings, poor abdominal strength, but that certainly isn't the reason why you extend. I've got a little friend here. I've got a pipe. It's about 1 inch in diameter. I would thoroughly recommend you nipping down to B&Q or other useful or equally as good hardware stores and picking one up. Obviously it's a bit of pipe work, a bit of plumbing, and it's about 4.5 feet tall. I'm about 6 feet, so maybe 5 foot tall or in length. Thoroughly useful for a multitude of applications, so I'd go and grab yourself one of those. I'm just going to put that to the side just for a second, and I'm going to just demonstrate some early extension stuff. Early extension is when the pelvis through strike moves towards the golf ball. We set up in our posture. The pelvis goes forwards, the chest goes backwards, and as a result, the handle goes forwards. Let's talk about from the top down. And what I mean the top down, let's talk about from the club down. As the golf club comes into the golf ball, if the handle moves towards the ball, watch where the club head goes. As the handle moves towards the ball, the club head is actually moving back of the ball to target line. Because the club head is moving back behind the ball to target line, that is actually giving you more time. Giving you more time to close the face over. Because if the face is out of orientation, a golfer will try to back up, a golfer will try to sit behind the golf ball, a golfer will do everything to move towards the target. Because at the moment you start to move towards the target and get closer to the golf ball, the face angle better be orientated well. Therefore, the face in its orientation can be out of shape. So, as per usual, I know it's getting super boring, but grip is the first port of call to sort your face orientation out. And I get this a lot, and I've had it from a client. Will, if you're out there, I've got your email, I'm going to reply back. Invariably, people will say to me, I think my grip's okay, What are you seeing? You seeing bend to the left or bend to the right? Well, I'm seeing it go left, but I'm pulling it. It's invariably a weaker face. Unless you are battling a bend to the left, a bend to the left, and I'll say it once more, a bend to the left, your face to path is not strong enough. So, the grip invariably will set the face up, but it's not all grip, of course. I mean, there are other ingredients here, of course. So as if I just taught grip all day, well, let me tell you, if I did teach grip all day, I would make as big an improvement to people as anything else. The grip will influence the face. But of course, then all of a sudden, you've got to fix the hangover of having a poorly orientated club face. So the handle moving forwards is buying you more time to make the face close itself over. Because the handles move forwards, it therefore means that we now have to balance up the top half. If the handle is moving more over here, and my chest moved forwards too, because when we are in better posture compared to early extension, you can see that my chest goes from lifting up and looking forwards to my chest being down. Therefore, if I have my handle moved over here and then I push my chest forwards, you can see I won't hold myself upright. Impossible. Handle moving forwards is buying us more time with the face. Because the handle moving more forwards, I then have to counterbalance that. If my handle's moving forwards and my spine's moving backwards, I need to make sure that I've got the bottom of the chain, bottom of my body, opposing the top of my body. Because if my spine moves forwards, my handle moves forwards, and then my pelvis moves backwards, it's going to counterweight me even more forwards. So understand the ripple effect that the face has on the handle has on the chest has on the pelvis. And of course then you have the reaction through the feet. Now all of a sudden you feel on your tiptoes and you can't hold yourself in your finish. So as you then drive forwards, the pelvis moves over here, you're trying to turn yourself through the ball. Well, good luck with that. So let's reverse engineer this. Let's deal with what's going on through the feet first. And first of all, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit a couple of shots with a bit of early extension. So that's the look we're going for. So the club is swinging off over to the right, and it's quite interesting because this sensation, the pelvis moving forwards, the handle moving out and up, look what it's done to my club path. Club path has gone inside out, 11 degrees. I've hit up on the ball, 3 degrees, and the golf ball's gone to the right. Now, if you've watched enough of my videos, if my path moves from the inside and my face angle is not pointing to the left of that path line, look where the ball's going to go. So I've got a path of inside out 11 degrees, but my face to path value is, my face is open of my path, because you can see my face angle is 25.4 degrees open to the target, which means the gap between the club path and the face angle is 14.4. If you haven't seen some of my data series videos, do go and check those out, because it will unravel these individual components by themselves. And so therefore you have an opportunity to learn the face to path value in its single entity, rather than when I then start talking about them all together, it's like, oh my God, what's he talking about? I don't understand this. That's why I'm trying to build up your knowledge to give you the control over your golf game. Now, the problem is that the world over, and I saw a Hank Haney video on YouTube encouraging golfers, and you've probably all seen it because you're on YouTube now, of him trying to push the club away, circle the club in, and then push it out to the right. So if the handle is pushing out to the right, that handle is exacerbating your error of trying to pull yourself up and out. Because if you're pushing the club in that direction, it's going to pull your chest up because you're unstable. It's going to stop your pelvis from rotating. You're going to be on your tiptoes and you're going to have to spin the face over in your handle. Therefore, if the world is thinking about trying to push the path to the right, all the time you're trying to push the path to the right with the handle, you're going to exacerbate the problem of early extension. The footwork is your way of learning how to move your pelvis, which will change how your top half starts to work, and we're going to talk about it in a second, obviously, which will then change the track of the handle. Now, if the track of the handle then starts to work a little bit better, and then you start to create some better angles in your swing, so you can now see I've created better angles in my swing, I've got some posture there still left over in my shot, I've hit down 3.4, my path has come inside out 1.2, but can you see that my face angle is open 6.4? That was a conscious effort that I did there to make the face open. I've done what I wanted to do with the shape of my swing and how I track the handle, but if the face comes back pointing in the wrong direction, a golfer will do that once until he then has to accommodate that. And depending on what he believes to be the remedy for that shot, whether it might be a bit more of a toe over the heel, they'll fix it and they'll draw it down to the left-hand side, and then they're off a merry-go-round of changes. But they started the session trying to work on early extension and holding more postural angles. So understand that even when you achieve or stop your early extension in a minute, which I absolutely promise you, I will make that happen. I will make you stop early extending here and now today. I promise you. But if I stop you doing it and the ball doesn't go straight, you can appreciate that early extension wasn't the issue. Early extension was buying you time to square the face up, because the very first one I did with a better angle of attack, should I say, a better angles with my posture, the ball went right. And so the early extension that bought me more time gave me the time to close the club face over. So therefore, early extension might not be your remedy, but you'll soon find out when I fix it for you. Back over to Mr. Plastic Tube. And so first of all, I'm going to get the plastic tube and I'm going to lay it on the floor. And what I want you to do is stand on it. Remember, it's 1 inch in diameter, this plastic tube. And what I want you to do is I want you to make it so that the middles of your feet are on top of the plastic tube. And in an ideal world, it'd be nice to have both heel and toes off the floor, but that would be just too difficult for the lion's share of golfers, which is totally cool. It'd be difficult for me as well, but to swing like this, But for now, I just want you to have it so your heels are on the ground. Then what I want us to do is pop a club across your shoulders. In fact, I won't do that because it's going to make a noise with the mic. Put your hands across your shoulders, and all I want you to do is then get yourself into posture. Now, for those of you out there that believe that posture and the weight should be on the toes of the feet, we're going to start in the way you believe it should be to start with. So I've got the pressure on the toes of my feet. Then I'm going to get myself into my posture, tipped over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a backswing, and as I make a backswing, I'm going to make my right heel go into the floor, because as I make a backswing, my right hip wants to go around and not along. And as it goes around, it should then thrust the force from my right toe to my right heel. And in doing this, what will happen is my left shoulder will react by going down. So there I am in posture. I'm now going to make a backswing, and I'm now going to push the weight into my heel and now keep it into my left toe. All of a sudden, because of the way I've started, in my opinion, off balance on the toes of my feet, excuse me, because the club's force through strike is going to pull me in that direction, I then make a backswing and push weight into my right heel and left toe, it's going to topple me forwards. Then I've increased my spine angle, and then I need to stand back out because I've got force and energy of the club coming that way. That's why if you stand heavily on the toes of your feet, it is very difficult to create good spine angle, good shoulder pitch in a backswing with a good arm plane and use your feet well, because you're starting, in my belief, out of balance. Again, the analogy of catching a football waiting on the toes of the feet, well, that's a totally different story, because the football's force is coming at me and I'm trying to oppose that force, whereas a golf club is trying to swing that way, so I'm trying to oppose that force. I wouldn't start a game of tug of war on the toes of my feet now, would I? And nor should you. So start on the toes of your feet at your peril. Pressure in the heels of the feet. Then we're going to go into our posture, and this time, I'm just going to move that mic up so I don't keep hitting it. Now, as we make a backswing, I'm going to rotate and I'm going to make that left toe go to the ground. So now all of a sudden, because of the way I've balanced myself to start with, I can now push the weight into the toe of my feet and counteract it with my right heel. Because my right heel was already biased, as my right hip went back, it allowed me to move the pressure into the toe of my left foot, which still kept me bolt upright, or in balance, should I say. Now as I come back through, I'm now going to have a switch over. I'm now going to go heel to toe, toe to heel. Heel to toe of my right foot, toe to heel of my left foot. And now as I swing through, now I've got the pressure down through my left heel and pressure through my toe. So starting on the heels, toe down, toe down. So that's what you want to do to start with. The reason why you want to do it like that to start with, because most people can't separate their awareness to their feet over the club swinging. It's difficult. So many people are thinking about hitting the golf ball and not thinking about how they use their feet. It's a toughie to change. Do that first. Then we want to get you to set yourself up, heels of the feet. Then we're going to get you to make some swings. So I'm now getting my toe, my left toe to go down on my backswing. As I pull the golf club, I'm now going to switch over the left toe to the left heel and now get my right toe up. And so all of a sudden, I've got a pattern in my feet that's starting to allow me to work my feet properly. Because in the finish point, finish position of my golf swing here, if I've not got pressure down through my left heel, which pushes my left glute in that direction, it can't counterbalance my right shoulder. If I put pressure now on my left toe, you can see I fall over. Therefore, if I fall over, when I put the pressure and force into my left toe, to keep myself stood up, look how I have to pull my posture up. Because that's the only way I can stand up as someone standing on two legs. So the minute you start to balance your feet properly, which comes ultimately from the start point, and then you start to change the pressures through your feet, can you then start to create some better balance, and absolutely cure your early extension. I hope I've given you a clear understanding of the ripple effect a club face misalignment starts, the problems of early extension. Reverse engineer it, work on your footwork with the aid of this pipe, get yourself down to B&Q. I've got shares in these plastic pipes, so make sure you buy plenty of them, because the kickbacks are coming big time, baby. Of course I jest. Understand that the footwork initiates the chain above it. But if the chain above it, your pelvis, your chest, your arms, your club work effectively, you better make sure that you start seeing shots go straight like that. If they don't, and you're keeping yourself balanced, you've got to look elsewhere for what's causing the ball to bend in the sky. I hope you've enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that video. I know it's been a little bit longer, but hopefully it's given you the insights that you need to help debunk where early extension comes from. I think you'll agree. That's good coaching. Do share, like, subscribe while you're here. I want you to play the best golf you possibly can. I'll see you next time.